We're here today to talk about this enormous fight that we have coming up on March 14th between Sergey Kovalev, also known as Crusher, and Jean Pascal. Sergey is a WBO, WBA, and IBF light heavyweight world champion. And Jean Pascal, of course, is a light heavyweight former champion. We are also joined today by Kathy Duva, the CEO of Main Events, Egis Klimas, who is Sergey Kovalev's manager. We also have John David Jackson, Kovalev's trainer, with us, as well as Jean Bedard, the president of Interbox. Greg Leone, CEO of Jean Pascal Promotion, is with us, and Mark Ramsey, Pascal's head trainer. All of those folks are available for you to ask questions of when we start the Q&A. We all know, of course, that this fight will be part of a live triple header that will be televised on HBO World Championship Boxing beginning 9:45 p.m. ET and PT. So without further ado, I am going to turn this call over now to my fearless leader, Kathy Duva. Kathy?
Hey, Ellen. Hello, everyone. Thank you. It's great to see so many people on the call today, and I'm going to keep my comments brief because we have lots of speakers and because I have a cold, so it may sound a little weird, but anyway, I'm feeling better than I sound. This is a terrific fight, and I don't really think there's a whole lot anybody can say to embellish that. Sergey has always told me that he just wants to test his skill against the best, and he's getting the opportunity to do that. On March 14th, Jean Pascal, the warrior, has faced anyone that has stood in his path. So what we have here is just a classic matchup between two guys who really want to fight each other, and that usually leads to the best. We also have a terrific undercard, which we will address on further conference calls, but basically we have a terrific fight on HBO in the United States, on pay-per-view in Canada, and what can I say? If you love boxing and you live in the U.S., you have HBO, so you're going to get to see a great fight.
So Kathy is talk to us a little bit about this fight. Now let's have a couple words here from Jean Bedard.
Thank you very much. So this will be, again, for us, an epic fight between two of the best fighters of the light heavyweight division. We can already feel the excitement from Canadian boxing fans in Montreal. Can't wait for that fight to happen. Jean Pascal is always ready for a new challenge, and fighting Kovalev is right up there. The Russian-born champion will obviously not give up his titles easily, but Pascal is ready to give him a good run for his money. I'm also very happy and proud of the card we will be presenting on March 14th. In cooperation with the Main Events, we have put together one of the most exciting boxing cards I've seen for a long time. All of our fighters are ready to take up some big challenges, and fans have to be prepared for a great evening. This event on March 14th, therefore, promises to be a memorable evening in Canadian boxing history. Talking a little bit about Jean Pascal's team. Jean Pascal can count on an amazing team with Greg Leone as CEO of Jean Pascal Promotion, his coach Mark Ramsey and Ross Amber, and the one and only Roy Jones Jr. It's a pleasure to introduce a warrior that never backs down from a fight. I don't know if it's Jean Pascal's turn to speak, but I just want to introduce you the WBC light heavyweight world champion from 2009 to 2011, second in the world rankings with a record of 29 wins, including 17 KOs in 33 fights. I'm proud to present Jean Pascal, and I'm waiting to see all you guys. The biggest challenge that we have this time is to try to accommodate all the media around the world. We're used to have big fight, a lot of fans, but to have this kind of fight in Montreal, we're very happy and look forward for March 14th. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much. Now, Sergey, would you like to say a couple words to all the wonderful people listening?
Pardon me?
This is Sergey. Sergey, why don't you everyone?
Серега?
Yes.
Хочешь что-то сказать, какие-то слова? everybody, hello, and I'm waiting March 14th and already started to prepare and waiting this date. This day for me means a lot because first time defend three of my titles, and I'm sure that it will be a very great Boxing Day, very big show in Canada and on HBO. Welcome to Montreal, to the Bell Center, and welcome to TV, and tune on HBO, and have fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sergey. Jean-Pascal.
Yes.
Say something?
Yeah, and hi to everybody. I'm Dr. here. This fight, I think, is going to be a great fight. It's a classic. This is the best. This is the best. We are two great steel warriors, and Sergey thinks he's the best. I think I am the best. So that's why we're going to face each other to see who's the best. So we're going to have an epic night in Montreal, March 14th. And if you take a little bit about it, this fight remind me like Rocky 4, and I think it's going to be like a remake of the movie Rocky 4. You have the North American guy versus the Russian. So you got the East versus the West. You got Drago, who killed Apollo Creed in the ring. Sergey Kovalev did the same thing maybe a couple of years ago. So I am like a huge underdog like Rocky was in the movie. The odds, I think, they're like 4-1. So I think in this movie, I'm not going to be Apollo Creed, but I'm going to be the Black Barboa. So I think like the fans need to show up because it's going to be a classic. There's going to be an epic night, and there's 4 belts on the line: the WBC Diamond Belt, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. So the winner of this fight is going to be the king of the division. So I can't wait for this fight. And, at the same time, I'm really, really glad to give Kovalev his first real payday, because I think he got, like, underpaid by his people, because after, like, 33 fights, it's your real first payday. That's very, very sad. So I'm very happy to be able to make him afford a house, because after his fight against Hopkins, I think he got like only 100K, something like that, and that's very, very bad for a champion of his caliber. So I think Kobe deserves way more money, a lot of money. So I'm very glad that I'm giving him this opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, we can start the Q&A now, Brandon.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. We ask that you please limit yourself to 2 questions. If you wish to ask any further questions, please re-enter the queue by dialing star 1 again. If you wish to be removed from the queue altogether, please press the pound sign or the hash key. If you're using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset first before dialing the numbers. Once again, if you have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. For a moment while we assemble our queue. And from Ring, we have Mike Woods online. Please go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to do the call. Appreciate it. A quick bookkeeping and fact check question. This is for Kathy. John made an interesting comment. He's happy that able to help Kovalev get a great payday, his first real payday, and he says he thinks he made $100,000 to fight Hopkins or something. I don't always follow the numbers like that, but is there any degree of realism to that, or what's up with that?
He made a lot more than $100,000 to fight Hopkins. But it is a good payday, and one of the reasons Sergey chose to go to Canada was because there was a good financial opportunity there, but he's doing just fine. Nobody's going to have to hold any benefits for him.
No benefit concert for Kovalev. Sergey, question for you about Jean Pascal. He is a veteran. solid guy, has some great wins. I am wondering if you perceive him to be, on paper, the toughest test of your career to this point.
Серега, вопрос тебе. Паскаль, за Паскаля, он ветеран, он хороший боец. Ты думаешь, что как бы если на бумаге это будет самый большой для тебя, самый такой противник, тест, это как бы протестируешь себя, прогнозируешь?
Я не понял суть вопроса, Игорь.
Спрашивает по поводу Паскаля. То есть Паскаль ветеран, уже как бы давно в боксе. Ты думаешь, что это будет для тебя самый большой соперник перед тобой в твоей карьере?
It's true that Pascal will be the hugest opponent in my career, ahead of me, but I had tough guys, you know, like I fought a lot of times with good boxers, and I don't know how he is good, how he's the best, but I want to see it in the ring. I'm not talking, you know, what I will do, what I would like to do. I just want to do in the ring, and I'm still waiting this day when we fight at March 14 on HBO. What again?
Okay. And once again, if you have a question, please dial *1. Up next, from Canadian Press, we have Frederick Daigle online. Please go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. The question is for Jean Bédard. Do we have an idea of how the ticket sales are going at the Bell Center?
Yeah, it's good. Actually, it's going well. We start very strong just before Christmas. As you know, nothing happened here in January, February because of the cold weather we had. I would say that we had a great day yesterday of sales, and we're thinking about 12,000, which is very good for the venue. We'll see. We're looking to have very good sales in the next few days, the 3 weeks that we still have in terms of promotion. As usual, that's while the heat is on. Well, we're start talking about the fight where the boxer are available for the media, and definitely we look for a good turnout on March 14th.
Any possibility that you go into a bigger configuration, like 15 or 16,000?
Yeah, we'll see, because the issue that the experience on TV is getting better and better every time we what we saw is 5 years ago, then today with all the access with the big screens and TV, probably sometimes people prefer, instead of going up in the building unhoppable at $50, they prefer to buy it. So we have also stronger and stronger pay-per-view. So we have to figure out all the numbers in total. And it's as the same. We have issues with the kids on the floor. We have a very big demand. So we'll have a very good crowd. We hope that we can go 15. Depends on the next 3 weeks. And if we can have a little bit warmer weather, people will start. Instead of going home, we'll start. The economy will go again. So we're very confident that there will be a very nice crowd on March 14th, but we don't know from now.
And from ESPN, we have Dan Raphael online. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. John, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Good to talk to you. My question for you, John, is you had the fight that was in early December, the no contest against Belantes. It's only 2 rounds. And before that, you hadn't fought since January. So it's really been quite a while off you. I know it's not entirely your fault. You wanted to fight other fights, and it just didn't get worked out. But I'm wondering, what is your point of view as far as whether a long layoff like that is good for you or not good for you, or doesn't make a difference? I'm curious because other than when you had an injury, you weren't a guy that took off like an excessively long amount of time.
Dan, I think that's gonna. I don't think that's gonna affect me because it's been 18 years that I am in the boxing game. When people or boxers or athletes use like rust, even rust, sometimes it's just to downplay the performance, or sometimes it's just because they are scared about the public. And me, I'm not scared about the public. I know I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna give my 100%. I know I'm gonna be sharp because, like I said, it's been 18 years. Say I'm doing it, so it's not because I took like a nine months layoff that's gonna change something in my skills or my speed or not everything. So I'm very, very confident that even though I made only 2 rounds December 6th, I'm going to be well prepared to have the W at the end of the night on March 14th.
All right, my other question for you, John, and I'll ask it a different way to Sergey, but we all know that you had your draw with Hopkins, and then you lost to Hopkins when you lost the title back in 2011. And then Sergey, just a few months ago, shut Bernard out, knocked him down, totally dominated. That's your one common opponent. I think there would be some people that say, boy, Jean Pascal, he lost to Hopkins. Kovalev beat Hopkins easily. So don't you think that Kovalev is going to beat Pascal? What's your point of view as far as the fact that you have that common opponent with each other and the way that the outcomes went?
But, we don't have only one common opponent. Yes, he fought Bernard Hopkins. He did a great fight against Bernard. He won against Bernard. But me, in my mind, that's what matters. And in my mind, I know I won both fights against Hopkins, even though on paper I didn't win the fight. But in my mind, I won those fights, those 2 fights. And also, earlier in my career, I fought Daniel Boone. And I whooped this guy in 1 fight. And it took Kovalev 2 fights to have a good win, a credible win against Daniel Boone. So I think that means a lot. So it's not only the Hopkins fight, but if you look at Daniel Boone, it took 2 fights to Sergey Kovalev to go over Daniel Boone. And also he got drops, I think, twice. In his career, I've never been knocked down in my whole career. So that's why this fight is going to be interesting. It's going to be a great fight. And that's why I'm calling for an epic night on March 14th.
All right, Jean, thank you very much for that. I would like also, Sergey, if he could answer the question about does it in any way make you feel, Sergey, I don't know, overconfident maybe because you beat Bernard Hopkins so easily. But Jean had problems and lost one of the 2 fights, drew with him in the other one. And then, as he mentioned, you had a tough time with Darnell Boone, a guy that he beat pretty handily. I mean, what's your perspective about that, the common opponents that you've had and how you did against them compared to the way John fought them?
Серега, тебе вопрос. Он, ты так легко вроде бы выиграл у Бернарда Хопкинса, но Жан Паскаль, у него были проблемы с Хопкинсом, оба боя. А соперник как Дарнелл Бун, у тебя были проблемы с ним выиграть него в Атланте, а Жан Паскаль его выиграл очень легко в Канаде. Как ты можешь прокомментировать это?
I can say about that any fight is like different, like because different opponents, different days, different feelings, a lot of different things. It's I can explain on the English like exactly, but it's nothing too strange, like I can win somebody very easy, but this guy can be for somebody very hard, it's like what we see about Darnell Boone, about Jean Pascal with Hopkins. Hopkins had Pascal had a problem with Hopkins. I won Hopkins easy, but can be not easy fight against Jean Pascal. It's like just a situation. For me, any fight like as a street fight,
very much.
From the main fight, we have Jeff Jeffrey online. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon to both of you. I have first a question to Jean-Pascal. I was wondering if I can ask him in French. Jean, est there? Ok, Jean, ça va bien?
Ça va bien, merci, toi?
Oui, ça va bien, merci. Jean, écoute, est-ce que tu penses que ton style imprévisible sera ton avantage contre Kovalev?
C'est sûr que n'importe quel style imprévisible pose toujours des problèmes à n'importe qui, compte tenu que c'est imprévisible. C'est difficile de se préparer contre un boxeur qui est imprévisible ou contre un adversaire qui est imprévisible. Alors, contre n'importe qui sur la planète, je pense que mon style peut donner beaucoup de problèmes. C'est un peu comme l'hiver au Québec, c'est imprévisible. Des fois, c'est chaud, moyen. Cette année, c'est super froid. Alors, mon style, c'est un peu comme l'hiver du Québec, imprévisible.
Et quoi crois-tu sur les commentaires récents quand j'ai parlé à Bernard Hopkins? Bernard Hopkins te favorise pour le combat. Qu'est-ce que ça te fait de savoir ça?
Sincèrement, moi, je ne me fie pas sur les commentaires des gens, sur les opinions des gens. Moi, je me concentre sur mes aptitudes à moi, sur qu'est-ce que je peux faire, sur qu'est-ce que je peux contrôler. Oui, il y a plein de gens, il y a plein d'experts qui disent que je suis le underdog, le négligé. Bernard Hopkins me considère comme le favori, mais tout ça va se régler le 14 mars sur le ring.
Et une autre question rapide, est-ce que tu voudrais conserver le surnom du Black Rocky? Parce que tu n'as pas de surnom.
Du Black Balboa, ben ça...
Black Balboa, oui.
Le Black Balboa, ça dépend. Si les gens trouvent que ça fait bien à Jean-Pascal, j'ai aucun problème. Mais c'est sûr que je ne suis pas le genre de personne qui va me donner mon propre surnom. Mais si les fans... Si le Black Balboa inspire les fans, ça ne me dérangerait pas, compte tenu du contexte du combat.
Jean Bedard and Jean Pascal, would you please give us that translation in English? And I would ask that as speakers you allow Jean Bedard to translate for us so the rest of us can know what is getting talked about as well, okay?
So you want a little bit the translation? Well, there was 3 questions. The first one was, does Jean Pascal think that his style, which is not it's a special style, could make problems to Kovalev? So that's what the first thing Jean Pascal thinks, that his style could cause problem to any boxer in the world. And the second question was, do you think that it's a good idea that your nickname could be Black Balboa? So basically Jean said that he's not the one, that he will give him a nickname. That's the fans that will give him a nickname. So basically there was 2 questions.
Thanks. If you can translate everyone as they come in, that'd be wonderful. Thanks.
Okay.
From QMI Agency, we have Benoit Liu on the line. Please go ahead.
Hi, my question is for John David Jackson. I just want to know if something is different in Sergey's preparation for Jean-Pascal, and just a few words, how can you describe Jean-Pascal like a boxer?
As far as preparation for this particular fight, every fight is different. Every fight is different, so preparation for every fight is also different. Certain things that we're doing for this fight that will prepare us for John Pascal. So, to answer that question for you, everything is different from this camp than it was the last camp. As far as John Pascal, the fighter, you can't sell John lightly. You can't take him lightly and sell him short. He was champion for a reason, and you have to give him his just due. Sergey prepares for every fighter, and taking John the same way. As John's a champion, we're the challenger, and we can get that title. Because those belts are very important to Sergey, and that's what he dreamed of. And there's still one more belt that's left once he gets that last belt, and even after he's on a mission. So the fact that Pascal's good. He's a very good fighter, very intelligent, has a good power. So he's a very good fighter. You can't take him lightly. If you take him lightly, then you become ex-champion. So we're looking at Pascal as how we should look at him. A very good fighter with very good skills, and one that's dangerous, and one that we're prepared for
on more than one level to make sure that we retain these belts for Sergey.
Thank you, and maybe I just want to know if you can say that the style of Jean-Pascal is like different or is tough to read.
It's different. It's not tough to read, but it's very different. He's not one-dimensional. He throws punches sometimes from different angles. But defense, no, he does not have that. The greatest offensive attack, no, he doesn't have that. But he's very good at what he does. So, he's kind of herky-jerky. Some things he does that are unconventional, but they work for him. So we have to, Sergey has to kind of dissect him slowly and just do what he does best. And that's, find a way to figure out the post that is John Pascal and bring him down slowly. And so, Sergey's not a one-punch knockout punch in the regards of just, throwing one shot at a time. Sergey's a volume puncher. He throws combinations. He does everything well. So, Pascal will present a problem, but it's not a problem that can't be fixed. I laugh when they talk about Rocky was a movie. It was written for Rocky to win. This isn't a movie. This is a real fight. In order to win this fight, you got to do what you need to do to win the fight. It's not a script that's written for him to win. He has to do it and win it with whatever he does best and hope it works for him. So Pascal does present a problem for anybody. You can't take this guy lightly. Like I said, he's champion for a reason, and he's getting that respect. So we're treating him like treating from the fighter that he is. And so it should be an interesting fight that night. But Sergey's always found a way to prevail. They talked about how Boone gave him trouble the first fight. With the second fight, Boone gave him no trouble because he solved that riddle. So we have 12 rounds to solve the riddle that is Jean Pascal, and between 1 and 12, the puzzle will be solved.
I will remind everybody that in addition to Sergey and Jean Pascal, Kathy Duva, and Jean Bedard, we have John David Jackson, Agus Clenis, Greg Leone, and Mark Ramsey on the call also, so you can ask questions of them.
Thank you. And from Boxing Scene, we have David Greisman on the line. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everybody. There was some back and forth in the headlines several weeks back about drug testing for this fight, but I don't recall seeing a resolution. What is the drug testing situation for this fight?
We had been approached by the Pascal camp about doing drug testing. We agreed. We agreed to go to the people at I'm losing the name of it now. Vada, thank you. My head's a little sorry, but it's cold. We agreed to go to Vada and do the testing. Jean Pascal said that he did not agree to go to Vada. He had originally offered to pay for it, wasn't going to pay for Vada, so we just decided that since he didn't want to pay the lower fee for the much more credible organization, that he must have not been serious about that. So there will be no drug testing done.
Any response from Pascal's camp?
Greg, go ahead.
Well, the first things first, Vada didn't come into the game until the 11th hour. I was negotiating with Main Events' attorney, Patrick English, and we were trying to land in a place that Pascal originally planned on with the protocol that he's had in place since 2013. Out of the two athletes fighting on March 14th, only one of them has been tested randomly over 10 times, and that's Jean Pascal. It's unfortunate we couldn't land on a mutual organization, but it is what it is. I mean, Main Event shouldn't be caring what Pascal's spending on a test if he's willing to pay for all of it.
Greg, who conducts the testing for Pascal, and who do those results get, reported to?
I couldn't hear you. Say that one more time?
I'm sorry. Who does the testing of Jean Pascal, and who do those results get reported to?
Jean does WADA-compliant testing, and the company that was picking up the testing was IDTM. Is that correct, Jean?
Yeah.
Yep. Right, but who do the results then get reported to? The results could come to you all, or do they get reported to the commission? Do they get reported to the ABC?
They get reported to the commission.
Okay.
The promoters and the commission.
Okay, and how do you all feel about the fact that the drug testing went the direction that it did?
It's a shame Main Events wouldn't allow us to pay for the protocol that's been in place for Jean Pascal since 2013.
Okay. Thank you.
And our position is Sergey Kovalev, the champion of the world, and he will choose the protocol or we won't do it.
From Montreal Gazette, we have Herb Zurkowski online. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you very much. This question is either for Jean Pascal, or Mark Ramsey if he's on the call. I'd just like to know, just bringing you up to speed on the training regimen, where you went, how you have proceeded with this fight, if we are to agree, Jean, that this is going to be your toughest challenge, even tougher than Hopkins. Are you preparing any differently? So just basically where, when, why, and how you have been preparing for this fight.
Hi, Herb. It's Mark Ramsey.
Hi, Mark.
Actually, we did 2-week training, pre-training camp in Montreal. We did 4 weeks in Las Vegas, and right now we are in Big Bear, California, for the last 3 weeks and a half before the fight. It's sure that everybody already heard that story about we have our best training camp, but when you fight somebody of a boxer with the quality of Sergey Kovalev, you have to step up as a trainer, as a boxer, and this is exactly what Jean Pascal is doing right now. And I'm very comfortable with the planification, with the training camp, and I'm very comfortable also with the fight right now.
Thank you.
From FightKings.com, we have George Hansen on the line. Please go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. This question is for John David Jackson. First, I just want to congratulate you for being elected into the Pennsylvania Boxing Hall of Fame. I don't know why it took so long. Question, when you have great trainers like yourself who are great fighters, there's a tendency to want to embed your style and how you fight into your fighter. How have you been able to curb that tendency in working with Sergey? Because I look at your fights, and I look at Sergey, and you two are two different fighters.
Yes, actually, that's a problem sometimes, and it's a downfall for a lot of trainers. They try to take the style they have as a fighter and have the fighter train fight the way they fight. Sergey, my belief is I let every fighter be himself. I work off what he does best and try to improve him as a fighter all around. Sergey's a tremendous puncher. His power is unreal in boxing. So why would I try to change that? I'd be crazy to try to change that, make him become an all-around boxer. Sergey has great boxing skills. So what I do is I don't really demand much of Sergey as far as trying to fight the way I fought. I just let him work on what he does, and then I add small things along the way. And what happens is he doesn't realize there's a lot of things that I show him. They begin to work for him his way without me trying to implement them or demand that he fight the way I did. His defense is great. There's a lot of boxing skills he hasn't really used yet. People thought he couldn't go 12 rounds, but he proved them wrong. 12 good rounds. He outboxed the master boxer, Bernard Hopkins. He couldn't do it and then kind of beat him at his own game. The power's there, and a lot of fighters, they underestimate that. They find out that night how strong he really is. So with me, any fighter, I don't really try to take what I do as a fighter and make them fight the same way. I just implement certain things that allows them to learn the way in which I fought to a degree and let them slowly, surely for themselves feel comfortable with that style. And then they will, as time goes on, gradually begin to fight in a certain way where some of the things that I did, they do. But in order to be a good fighter and hopefully a great fighter, you have to have a style that works for yourself, and maybe some of the things that your trainer shows you, you might work them into your arsenal, and then make them work in a good way. But with Sergey, I just let him do his thing, and I want to feel comfortable with what he does, and I show him things, but I don't show him in a way that is demanding. I do it in a way which, over time, it just begins to slowly seep into his arsenal, and then it works for him. And as you said, the Bernard Hopkins fight, he did his thing. He feinted his way in, he jabbed his way in. He did certain things that took Bernard out of his game, and they worked for him. And those type of things that I worked on him with. So, he's a tremendous talent as it is. So to answer your question with him and most fighters, I let them do what they do best, and I work things slowly into their arsenal to make them become better fighters.
Okay, thank you. My last question is for Jean Pascal. What did you see in that fight? I know you're considering yourself Rocky in this upcoming fight. What did you see in the Hopkins fight that has you excited that you can exploit against Sergey Kovalev?
Honestly, to be honest with you, nothing. Because Kovalev did a great job against Hopkins, but nobody's perfect. Everybody got flaws, and me, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to fight Kovalev, because he showed that he can go 12 rounds. He's a great boxer, and me, I'm a man, but I'm an athlete of challenges. I love challenge, and Kovalev is a great challenge for me. So that's why I decided to put the fight.
Thank you. From Real Combat Media, we have Terrell Van on the line. Please go ahead.
Hi, this question is for Sergey Kovalev. Now, we know that you're fighting Jean Pascal right now, but let's just say, I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but looking at the fact that the WBC has made basically the winner of this mandatory, will you be going directly after that, or possibly going after maybe your WBO, WBA, or IBF mandatory? Okay, thank you, and good luck in training camp. And for you, okay, so that is the that is next on as far as the mandatory is concerned. Okay, wow. Okay, and my final question. This is for you, Jean. Being that you and Adonis Stevenson are both Haitian and French, how confident do you feel that win or loss you will get a fight with Adonis Stevenson in the future, maybe even in Canada? Okay, thank you. Good luck at camp for both of you guys.
How you doing today? My first question is for Sergey. Sergey, 2014 was a great year for you. It was a great way to start out 2015. Prior to your fight with Bernard Hopkins, a lot of critics believed you were just a KO puncher, and fans started to expect KOs. That puts a lot of pressure on a fighter. Now that you've proved that you are the complete package and you have the complete skill set, is there a lot of that pressure off of you where you can perform in the ring more relaxed? Because Gennady Golovkin, who has a similar reputation to what you had before the Hopkins fight, has suffered a lot of criticism for taking so long to beat Martin Murray. Do you feel better now that you can win there and you don't feel the need to perform to please the fans and you can just be yourself in the ring and do your job?
Серега, перед боем с Гапкинсом все критики говорили, что ты только можешь ударить, ты только можешь, знаешь, уронять, и сильный у тебя удар, но в бою с Гапкинсом ты показал, что ты не только можешь ударить, что ты можешь действительно боксировать, и что у тебя есть талант в боксе. И сейчас вот Гена, когда прошел с Мураем, все опять критики все говорили, что вот он там, вроде бы тоже боксер, и он привел пример Гена. Но неважно, вопрос такого плана. Но сейчас, когда ты это уже все прошел, что уже знаешь, что ты можешь 12 раундов пройти, что ты можешь ударить, ты уже сейчас будешь в ринг выходить более релакс, более уже сам с собой быть в ринге, то есть у тебя уже нету такого большого напряжения, или как ты будешь себя чувствовать?
I'm going to the ring for my next victory. All my fights, same fights, it will be knockout or short decision. For me, doesn't matter. I'm getting into the ring to get my next victory. It's my goal. Why you should to go to the ring for losing? It's wrong idea. Sure, I'm going to get my next victory and great victory. How will happen? Nobody knows. I'm not doing any никакие прогнозы.
I'm not speculating any of the future, what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just going to the next victory, and but I knew that I came to boxing 12 rounds, and just happened that I stopped my opponent early than last spell of the fight. Jean Pascal is my hugest opponent and challenger, and I think so. This fight will be can be
I was trying to
again 12 rounds.
Question.
We can get score decision, and also can happen anything, any stops. What's the round? I don't know. If will be KO, will be very good present for everybody and for me myself. And I just want to boxing, and I'm going to the ring to show how can I boxing, and for me myself to prove for me myself how I did my training camp, and I want to see my result of my preparation.
Thank you. And my next question is actually for Greg Leon. While drug testing is certainly important, and a lot of people believe it should be even more strict in boxing. Why is it Team Pascal feels that they're in a position to demand a protocol for testing, especially when if history serves me correct, there's a member of Team Pascal, who has speculations of other failed drug tests in the past. And why is VADA not good enough? And why do you think that Team Kovalev should cave in to Pascal's demands when he's technically the B side?
It wasn't a matter of caving into demands. They said they had no problem with drug testing if we agreed to pay for it. We agreed to pay for it, then it became company specific. Why did it have to become company specific?
if we were paying for it. I could answer every question you have with a question. We'll just dance around in circles.
Okay, from TVA Sports, we have Matthew Bedard online. Please go ahead.
Hi, it's more of a French question, so I don't know if there was more English question before. I can take my time and just wait at the end. Or maybe if you want it.
Go ahead, and then Jean Bedard will translate for us if you're going to speak in French, okay?
OK, no problem. Première question pour Jean-Pascal. Salut Jean, ça va bien?
Ça va bien, merci toi.
Ouais, super. Jean, tu t'approches de ce combat-là. On est même pas à 2 semaines de ce face-à-face-là contre Kovalev. Comment tu te sens suite à ton entraînement à Big Bear? Es-tu en pleine forme? Comment ça se passe pour toi?
Je suis en grande forme. C'est typique que les boxeurs disent que c'est toujours le meilleur camp d'entraînement en carrière, mais je sens vraiment que j'ai vraiment monté mon niveau d'adversité, mon niveau de tenue est grand pendant ces entraînements-là. Je suis fier de moi, mais pas uniquement de monter à un niveau de grand, c'est toute l'équipe, c'est Pascal. Alors, on est vraiment sur la bonne voie et je suis vraiment excité de revenir le 14 mars pour combler les fans à Montréal.
Okay, the first question from Mathieu was how feel Jean Pascal 2 weeks before the fight. So basically, Jean said that he feels very proud of what his team and him did during his training camp, and he is very excited about coming back to Montreal to feel fight week and then the fight.
Last question in French, une dernière question en français pour Jean Bédard. Jean, je veux savoir comment aller la vente des billets présentement en vue de ce combat-là. Est-ce que vous avez un chiffre à nous donner?
Yeah, like en fait, je vais te le dire en français, mais je l'ai parlé au début. Là, je dirais ça l'a décollé, je dirais, depuis à peu près une semaine. On a eu un très gros départ juste avant les fêtes. Et là, je dirais que ça roule bien. On vise 12 000, je souhaite 15 000, mais on va avoir une très très bonne foule, définitivement. So the question of Matthew was again about the crowd. So basically it's the same answer that I did in my comments. The first question was what we expect about attendance and what we hope for that fight. Saying basically that we think that the next 2 or 3 weeks will be very busy, and we hope to have between 12 and 15,000 in the Bell Center.
From Fight Hub TV, we have Marcos Villegas on the line. Please go ahead.
Hello? Hi, this question's for Jean, actually. Jean, what do you make of the whole situation with the testing? It's been covered a lot on this call. What's your feeling on that?
Honestly, the whole situation right now is behind me. I wanted to make the test to show the world that I'm a clean fighter, that Kovalev is a clean fighter as well. But the most important thing is we are in the clean sport, because I really, really believe in the clean sport. And I wanted to show the world that we're champions, but we're clean at the same time. But we have some issue with the Kovalev camp. So right now, I'm not worried about anything. I'm just focusing on my task. And my task is to train well and win the fight on March 14th.
But in any way, are you disappointed?
Of course I am. Of course I am. But like I said, when you have nothing to hide, you take the test. So you don't come up with like a specific agency to make the test.
You better shut up.
Why you want to have a specific agency to make the test when you know I'm the one who's paying for it? You're not paying for it. I'm the one who's paying for it. And me, so like I said, I can do like with any agency in the world. You can make the test on me. I don't care. But why Kovalev team wanted to do with only one specific agency? So, but it is what it is. And right now, I'm just moving forward, and I just hope that Kovalev is clean.
Yeah, I'd like to put this to rest once and for all for the Kovalev side. He is clean. He's quite clean. He was willing to take a test at VADA, the only agency that's ever actually reported anyone having taken drugs and having them penalized for it in boxing. So he was willing to go to that agency, which is above reproach, and for some reason the Pascal people who were told they could go to any agency they wanted, but that Sergey was going to go to the one that he knew was of the highest caliber and without any clouds or questions about whether it reported the results properly or took the test properly. He was willing to go to that agency. They said no. End of story. We're not going to talk about it anymore.
Caddy, since Father only do boxers, me, I was willing to do like any agencies doing like Olympic things on any athletes, not only boxers. Father only like recognized by certain people in boxing. They have no credibility. They have no credibility, Father. So please don't use that as an excuse.
Please don't say VADA has no credibility. That's absurd.
VADA has no credibility. They only test boxers. That's it. That's all. They don't test any other sport. Me, I was willing to do with a real agency who was capable to test any sport in the world. So with that further bullshit, just like leave it alone, because they're not credible, because they only test boxers. That's it. That's all. And plus brothers with Mr. Conte. Mr. Conte is with Conte. So we're gonna leave it alone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's leave it alone.
From ThreeMoreRounds.com, we have Ramon Aranda online. Please go ahead.
Hey everybody, question for Jean. I recently went back to watch your fight with Butte, and I thought you looked about as good as you've looked in quite a while. Butte, as we all know, and not sure how he came into the fight after his initial first loss to Froch, but nonetheless, Butte is a very hard puncher that moves relatively well. Maybe not the fastest guy in the world, but definitely has a lot of power. Kovalev, as we know, is another guy with a lot of knockout power. So do you feel that perhaps your movement and your speed will ultimately give you the advantage against Kovalev, or is there anything else in your game that you feel matches up well with Sergey?
Before the Hopkins fight, everybody was thinking that Kovalev was only a power puncher, but he's shown that he can box as well. We know that Kovalev can bang. We know now from the Hopkins fight that he can box. And on my side, that we know I can bang as well. We know that I can box. So that's why this fight is very interesting fight, because Kovalev is a power puncher. I never been knocked down in my life. So that's why, like, even though I'm a huge underdog in this fight, nobody can predict for a fact the result of the fight.
All right, and then a question for Kovalev, and this actually goes back to the Hopkins fight as well. I think many folks felt that Hopkins had a very good chance of winning the fight based off the fact that he's such a good counterpuncher. And I think myself included thought you would come in, aggressively as the harder puncher and perhaps follow Hopkins around. However, as we all know, you actually let Hopkins come to you many times and sort of, flip the script on him. Going into the fight, was that something that was pre-planned and that you would let Hopkins be the aggressor? And is this something that you might be looking to do as well against Pascal?
Серега, тебя спрашивают, обратно возвращаясь к бою Хапкинса. Все думали, что ты как бы только будешь идти на нокаут в этом бою, но ты показал, что ты можешь боксировать. И даже очень много как бы вместо того, чтобы самому идти, ты разрешал ему идти к тебе, и тем не менее ты его ударял, попадал. То есть это был такой план, когда ты заходил на этот бой, или это как бы само собой произошло? И то же самое, второй вопрос был, собираешься ли ты то же самое делать в боях с Паскалем?
I will answer the second question at once. I'm not going to say what I should to do against Pascal, because, like, you understand why. And first question. It's just yes, I had some strategy for the fight, but you already getting strategy, main strategy. First of all, in the fight, because if your opponent keeps you fighting how he planned, it's okay. But if not, you should think something new. I had some plans for the fight, but I fought from the situation. Bernard Hopkins pulled me and made contra attack. He tried to punch after my attack, and I saw this and I felt this, and I did what I can to do. What I can to do, I did it, and it looked very, very impressive and very smart. What I can to answer for this question.
Okay. And from Ring, we have Mike Woods back online.
Человек. Не, ну все, ничего, сейчас другой репортер уже идет. Все, нормально, ага. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, we have Mike Woods back on the line. Please go ahead.
Hi, guys. The fans always like to know who you got sparring. So first for John David, who has been sparring with Sergey? And then for Mark Ramsey, same question, please.
We've had Glenn Johnson, a kid named Steve Jafar, and another fighter that's Sergey about it.
Who was the name again? I didn't hear it, man.
The first one is Glenn Johnson.
Okay.
Steve Jafar.
Glenn Johnson, yep.
Yeah. Steve Jafar.
Steve Jafar, okay.
And the third kid, I can't pronounce the name, Russian kid, is Sergey about it.
Okay, and the question for Mark Ramsey, who's been sparring, please, Mark, with John?
I'm sorry, but I can't answer to that question because if I give you the name right now, the other camp is going to know exactly what the specification are working for that fight, and this is something that we want to keep.
All right, interesting answer. Thanks, guys.
From 12 round, we have Martin Ashard on the line. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. Jean, you have said many times that you wanted to achieve greatness. If you win that fight against Kovalev, do you think it will put you on the list of the greatest heavyweights of all time, or do you think that you need one or two more big wins to achieve that status?
Hi, did you hear me? The question's for Jean Pascal. Jean, you there?
Yeah, what's the question?
Yes, the question, hi Jean, it's Martin from 12 Rounds of CA. You've said many times that you wanted to achieve greatness. If you win that fight against Kovalev, do you think that your name will belong on the list of the greatest light heavyweights of all time? Or do you think that you need one or two more big wins before achieving that?
But definitely in my country, if we look at my resume after this fight, I'm supposed to be recognized as the TPE in Canada, the best ever in Canada, because of my resume. I fought a prime time Chad Dawson, not when he was washed up. I fought Bernard Hopkins 44 rounds. I fought Carl Frost 12 rounds. Adrian Jaconu 24 rounds. And even though I lost two fights, every fight that I lost were close fights. So no, I never be ashamed of my loss on paper, even though in my mind I won those two fights. So definitely after March 14, I'm supposed to be recognized as the best ever in my country, and then we're gonna go after the world.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
Digest. We have Jeffrey Freeman online. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for putting me on the call. Just a couple of questions for both boxers. I want to start with Sergey Kovalev, if I could. Sergey, congratulations on the birth of your son, Alexander. I was wondering, how do you guard against the complacency or the distractions that can sometimes come with new fatherhood?
Серега, первый вопрос тебе. Поздравляю тебя с родившимся Александром. И спрашивает, как не мешает ли своей подготовке, не создает ли какие-то проблемы, как отец и боксер.
Thank you for your congrats. No, nothing bad for my family. My family and me right now separate. I'm in training camp right now. They're at home, and we have a conversation through the Skype, through the phone, and like 5-10 minutes morning time and 5-10 minutes before when he goes to sleep after the bath. You know, it's like we're doing this that he is not forgotten how I look and I'm missing my family, about my family, and waiting day fight already very close, 3 weeks left, and after this huge fight, we'll see my family and we'll hug them and we'll kiss them and we'll do everything perfect. Thank you.
Right on. Sergey, what are your thoughts on the fact that Adonis Stevenson is now signed to fight Saki Obika in his next title defense? And what is going on in terms of getting you guys in the ring? Are we getting any closer to that? And that's up for anybody who wants to answer that.
Серега, какие твои мысли про того, что он сейчас подписал с этим Тика боксировать и защищать свой...
I don't care. I don't care.
He doesn't care.
My next fight against Pascal, March 14th. I'm thinking about only this fight. Nobody. I don't think about somebody more. Okay.
Thank you. We will now turn it back to Ellen Haley for closing remarks.
Thanks, everyone. That was very entertaining. I want to just remind the media of 3 things. This Saturday, we have our HBO Road to Kovalev Pascal show debut. It will debut at 12:15 p.m. ET and